Welcome. It's a pleasure to be here, especially considering the fact that 3 years ago I was here acting as a host here on the stage. So I feel very happy to be here and to have the opportunity to share with you my story and to help especially product owners who are starting their journey in a new organization to be successful, to become successful. So Veronica mentioned about it. So I am working in Motorola. I have over 15 years of professional experience, but last 11 years I spent mainly in the product owner role. Currently in Motorola Solutions, I work on amazing product, helping, saving people's life. So emergency call handling. So imagine a person who answers 911 calls in US. Quite soon they will be using the product I'm working on. So that's pretty exciting. I can feel that all my strengths that I have, problem solving, empathy, I can use every day in my work. But 3 years ago, I joined this organization, and quite soon it occurred that product owner role is canceled. I felt devastated. I felt frustrated. Why this happened to me, successful product owner? I had to take a very serious decision. Should I stay there or should I leave the company? But I decided to stay, and I decided to fight hard to find my own space and my own place in this organization as a product owner. And after 6 months, I made it. I took over one product from my colleague PO, but that was only the beginning of the journey I took. And about the journey, here and now, I'm standing here, and I would like to guide you through the steps I took to become a successful product owner one more time, to have a place in the company, to be rewarded for what I'm doing, and to be excited to start my work every day. I hope that my thoughts might help either you, if you are at the very beginning of your product owner experience in an organization, or maybe to your colleagues. So if you know junior product owners, please feel free to take my thoughts and encourage them to work hard to be successful. First of all, know your enemy. Learn about the organization by learning about the people in the organization. Learn about the most important people in the organization, the people that can influence the product you are working in and can influence the company. Identify those stakeholders and think how important they are for the company and for the role that you're in. Decide on their impact, decide on their power, their interest. And when you do this exercise, manage them carefully. Decide which stakeholders you should contact more often, less often. What is their communication style? This is very difficult task to be done, and you won't do it overnight or over a few days. What can help you, and what helped me a lot, is having a mentor, having mentor body, somebody who can guide you through the organization and do this exercise. And when you identify those stakeholders, when you know with whom to work, get closer to them. Let them know you and know them. Speaking about my experience, I failed at this exercise one time. So I thought that I have really good overview which stakeholder is the most powerful and the most influential. And I set the product goals to actually meet his goals. But it occurred that it was wrong decision. It was wrong goal because I didn't notice that another powerful stakeholder is actually the one who is the most interested and who hope to get some outcomes of my work. So I received quite devastating feedback back then, but I took that feedback, did that exercise one more time, and that took me on the right path. If we're talking about product owner, about product owner role, what is one of the most important factor is the product. So if you're joining the organization, you have to learn about customers, about users. If you're joining a team and they're already started to work on the product, you have to learn this product. You have to be mindful about the problems that this product is solving. But here and now, I would like to focus on a completely different dimension of the product. I would like to focus on the product owner being successful in the organization. So actually, what you should do is you should deliver. Quite often, especially on the Polish market, I guess that is changing, but quite often I see that product owners are starting as scribes, as somebody who is responsible for nailing down the requirements, and then they do not have a decision whether those requirements are actually valid or no. They have to work with actual business stakeholders and representatives. So even if you are acting as proxy, somebody who writes the requirements, or if you are actually a PO responsible for the product and for the product decision, do your job as perfect as you can. Deliver according to expectations. And to know expectations, of course, you have to be mindful about users and customers, but also be mindful about the strategy that your company has, and to be mindful about the strategy, you have to know those powerful stakeholders who quite often set up the strategy. And celebrate your success. If you did a good job, celebrate. Tell about your success. And what is very important, don't brag about yourself only, but you should know that actually you were working with development teams. So be their advocate and say, hey, this is my success, but this is the success of the entire team. We all work here. So obviously, sprint review, it's a perfect occasion to celebrate the success, to emphasize all the great things that you and the team did. Getting back to your enemy, one of the most important groups in the organization is the upper management. So the folks above our heads. And I would like to encourage you to reach up to them. It is very important to have a great relationship with your manager, but don't block yourself. Don't limit yourself to relationships only with your manager. Quite often in my company, but also in previous companies, I could observe that we have a bunch of status meetings, and sometimes we had those status meetings with upper management. And it took me a very long time to actually be present there, not only as a silent viewer, but as a real contributor. So what is a key factor here is you being noticed, but the folks above your head. It's not easy. And for me, I had to force myself to do that. I'm an introvert. This is quite challenging for me if I'm not secure, if I'm new in the organization. But I set myself a goal, ask at least one meaningful questions during the high stakes meeting. Add at least one meaningful comment to each and every meeting. Of course, I had to be well prepared. So I had to spend a lot of time actively listening to the powerful stakeholders so that my point of view and my comments are actually accurate. But after a few months, it occurs that I was asked for advice, that I was noticed, that I could participate in the decisions that I know 3 months earlier, nobody even invite me to those decisions to be mindful about those decisions. So what I gain, I build closer relationship. I build a rapport with those upper management folks, PDM director, or even one of the VPs. So I would like to encourage you to be there and be active. And if you're introvert like me, just try to challenge yourself there. Another quite important group of stakeholders are actually product people. What I mean by product people, I mean product owners, product managers, those folks from marketing that are quite close to our customers, that are close to our users. So try to get as close to them as you could be. Sometimes a product owner role is tightly coupled with engineering organization, so that's a bit more difficult, but still try to reach out to them, try to work with other product owners so that they know you, so that you can learn from them about the product, about the organization. And after some time, when you have more and more knowledge, offer your help, because I know product owners are very busy people, and everybody would love to have somebody supporting him or her. In my example, when I started as nobody in this organization, I actually had a chance to work closely with one of the product owners, so actually a member of the product team. And I learned from her a lot. And I also, after a few months, actively started to help her, support her in many activities. And that actually helped me to get the actual product owner position back then, because she knew that I'm good. She knew that I have a potential, and she knew that I have a knowledge. And she supported me in getting that position. And you can actually leverage those connections that you make, this trust that you make, also to reach out to customers and end users. So at some point, for instance, I started attending focus groups meeting with our end users. I was trusted enough to be there, and that gave me opportunity to learn more and get more exposure there. Another aspect of close relationship with people is to leverage your position as sort of a bridge between business and product world and engineering world. For me personally, it worked like that. I'm here in Krakow, and majority of the engineering organization is here in Krakow. We have few engineering teams in North America, and the majority of the product people in North America. And knowing that I'm here, I worked in the office back then, so I had quite close relationship with engineering. And I built really great relationships with those product folks. Here and now, they are my team. We are laughing together. We are solving problems together. It's really, I'm bonded there. So I'm in a position sort of between those two worlds. And sometimes I'm even mediating between those two worlds. I am there to explain the product goals to engineering organization. That's quite common, right? Because this is the product owner role. But on the other hand, I understand more from the engineering world, and I can explain engineering intentions to my product teammates. So I helped in solving few conflicts there, to mediate in some difficult conversations. And what I have, or what I gain by doing that is another level of trust on both sides. So that helped me to be even more successful there. And that might be specific to me only, but working closely to North America folks, I am more aware of the cultural differences about the American culture, so I can help folks from Poland to understand what is going on there, why we're not understood sometimes, why some things are more difficult than they should be. And another group of people that we as product owners deal with is a development team. And maybe that will sound controversial, but I would like to emphasize that product owner should not act as a team defender. We should be there. We should be close to the team. We should have a very good relationship with the team. But we are there to challenge developers. We were there to challenge the people we're working with. So we are, as product owners, aware of customer expectations that are changing a lot. We are aware of strategy. We're aware of organizational goals, product goals. And we are also aware that if we are claiming to be agile, we also have this concept of business agility. So we have to be there to even sometimes force the team to accept that, yes, priorities might change, and they quite often change if we would like to achieve what we like to achieve on the market. So in my organization, changes are bread and butter for everybody. From the business perspective, we're doing new cloud product. Nobody ever did that. So obviously we have to adapt to the market needs. And I'm there quite often, a few times per quarter, saying, hey, our priorities had changed. Deal with that. Of course, I'm not that hard. Yeah, but we have to adapt. They have to adapt. And you as a product owner, you have to leverage management, you have to leverage Scrum Masters, any natural leaders in the team, and act as a change agent there. But to be successful in that task, you have to be able to adapt. You have to accept all the changes that are happening around you in the business, in the company, in the market. That was quite challenging for me because in the past I worked in companies that we had some changes, but maybe okay, quarterly. Quarter was a place in time where there was quite peaceful moment that we're just, delivering, and I was preparing things for another quarter. Here and now, we have a lot of changes happening, I know, a few times per quarter. We might have priority change. So actually, I had to develop the skill to adapt and just accept those changes. Maybe sometimes or quite often nail down the risk. The risks, okay, if we actually apply this change, if we shift the priorities, we might lose that. So actually, I am driving this type of conversation, but I am not frustrated that changes happen. I'm just there to accept them. And that's the last thing. But I must admit it's the most difficult thing for me. Almost 3 years ago, one of our VPs did the town hall for us. And she stood on the stage and she said, don't be a dead squirrel. In the US, there's a highway in the middle of the nowhere, and there are squirrels standing in the middle of the highway. And if the squirrel decides to go left or right, she's going to survive. Otherwise, So decision is better than no decision, even more. But or wrong decision is better than no decision. This is a very important statement that I've heard 3 years ago, and I'm very happy to have Lynn as my, VP, because she's actually acting like that. She's not punishing anybody for making wrong decision, and I'm totally different person. I tend to, overanalyze everything, prepare a list of all the risk. Okay, I have to make this decision. Okay, pros, cons, what will happen, what won't happen. And that's okay, and that's my typical way of working. But here and now, I am able to do a decision, even I do not have all the necessary data to support that decision. That was a struggle for me, and it is a bit stressful, but that is one of the keys to my success, and I believe that is one of the keys to success of every leader and success to product owner. Okay, so that's all from me. I shared with you all the important things I believed that helped me to be there, to be here on the mountaintop, and to actually say that, hey, I am happy in the place where I am at work. I am happy working in this team, on this product. So I hope that you will take some of my thoughts and apply to your professional life, or you can inspire your colleagues by them. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions? Now it's time for questions, if you have any, or maybe discussion, right?
So first of all, congratulations from where you are and how you feel about your role and your position today. And my question would be, so among all of those success and path and learning you're behind of, what was the moment in your career as a product owner that was the most difficult and your thought was, oh my gosh, I don't want to continue this?
Thank you for that question. I mentioned a bit about it because actually it was, I guess, 1.5 years ago. I was working on a product, and as I mentioned, I made wrong assumption. So I developed the product in the direction that is fulfilling the goal of one of the key stakeholders. And at the same time, I was maintaining quite a good relationship with the other one. And after a few months, I got a feedback. Where is my feature? It was, it was devastating because there was a list of things that I did wrong. And I said, oh my God, how could that happen? I met with him almost, every week, having quite good discussions. I thought that we do have a consensus understanding. So this was the most difficult. But few years back, I've heard quite great speech about receiving a feedback. So the feedback is something that you either take and act upon, that's your decision, or just neglect that. So I took that feedback and decided, okay, I will analyze what I did wrong, what could I do different, and I also took advice of my mentor. So I think that it was a game changer for me, this very negative, devastating feedback that actually started that completely new direction in my professional life. And here and now, that person who actually gave me that feedback is my manager, and I find him as really great person. I love working with him. So in the end, it was good.